It is a beautiful afternoon on the shores of the Cumberland River here in Nashville, where I have a 49ers update for you from right by where the Titans Stadium is. And 49ers update, it comes from Matt Mayoko. John Lynch, 49ers general manager, he's received a promotion in title as well with the contract extension that he signed a few weeks ago before the start of the season. John Lynch is now the 49ers president of football operations and the general manager. So the president of football operations part added onto what John Lynch already had. This does open the door for Adam Peters at some point, I think, the assistant general manager, to get that promotion entitled to general manager, even with John Lynch still around, right? So you'd have John Lynch as the president of football ops and then Adam Peters as the GM, theoretically. Right now, Adam Peters still the assistant general manager for the 49ers. But this is a good way to kind of reorganize the deck chairs for the 49ers to be able to reward those within the organization if they do want to keep the key figures that have built such a good roster for this football team. Obviously, the drafting has been excellent for the 49ers, especially in the later rounds, and I think that Adam Peters deserves a whole heck of a lot of credit for that. He's the one that, he's been the head scout. He's overseen that department, and the scouting department has a very good track record of success. Obviously, John Lynch has run a really tight ship with the 49ers. They're respected around the league. He's got the personality and the name brand to be able to deal with teams, I think, in a way that few other GMs can deal with teams. We saw the 49ers cut in line for Randy Gregory. We saw them cut in line for Chase Young. A lot of that goes back to John Lynch, who's run perhaps the most aggressive front office in football ever since he joined the 49ers in 2017. So don't read too far into it. Besides just organizational structure, it gives the 49ers more flexibility moving forward to keep their own executives. John Lynch is now the 49ers president of football operations and general manager. Adam Peters remains assistant general manager, and of course the president of the 49ers remains Al Guido. Anyway, why don't we take a little bit of a walk here down to the riverbank in Nashville, because I wrote an article. It's up right now. It will be part of this 49ers update on, it's my performance review, midseason performance evaluation of Brock Purdy and the 49ers offense. And Brock Purdy's been really good, don't get me wrong, but he needs Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel back. It is a team sport, and it is no accident that the 49ers went from 30 points per game, 30 plus points per game, to 17 points per game the second that Deebo and Trent got hurt. They lead the 49ers out for a reason. They're two big weapons, especially since the 49ers don't have a great offensive line outside of Trent Williams. I think it's imperative that they have big number 71 available on the left side. And then Deebo, well, that's a physical presence, an adaptable presence that makes everybody around him better. You have to account for Deebo Samuel if you're an opposing defense, and it's not easy to account for him. So Deebo said that he's good to go yesterday on Kay Adams' show. I think Trent Williams is on a good path. We'll see if he's back in time for Jacksonville. But the 49ers performance review, we look at how good Brock Purdy has been from an explosiveness standpoint. He has proven so many people wrong with his athleticism. Number 4 in scrambling, EPA in the NFL, above guys like Justin Fields, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's been really, really damn explosive. He's raised the ceiling of this 49ers offense. Now it's time for the 49ers to raise the ceiling around Brock Purdy. And that means getting Trent Williams back, because that's compromised the run game. Deebo Samuel should help do that as well. And the defense has got to be better for the 49ers too. I think Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, speaking of John Lynch, they really both believe that Brock Purdy is going to deliver efficient football for the rest of his time with the 49ers, however long that is. I think that they're locking themselves in here because they believe that Brock Purdy's the real deal. And everything that we've seen from Brock Purdy so far suggests that they're right in that analysis of the situation. He's thrown a couple picks, but so has every other quarterback in the NFL. Some have thrown more than a couple, more than a few in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes has a higher interception rate than Brock Purdy this season. Patrick Mahomes just came off a game where he was only able to manage 9 points against a Denver Broncos defense that gave up 70 to Miami. So Brock Purdy, all things considered, he's behind only Mahomes and Josh Allen in QBR this year. And I think that should be the central point of the 49ers offensive analysis. He's been really damn good, and now it's time for the rest of the unit to play complementary football, something the 49ers have not done over their losing streak. Anyway, banks of the Cumberland River, probably too cold to get into. You got the pedestrian footbridge behind me. That's going to connect the river to downtown. Spin back over there. It's going to connect downtown, Broadway, all the honky tonks, to Nissan Stadium, where the Titans play. They're going to be replacing Nissan Stadium soon enough. Nissan is slated for demolition because they've just approved a brand new state-of-the-art, heavily publicly funded stadium. It's going to cost over $1 billion. And this whole riverbank, there's not much going on here from a retail standpoint. There will be when that new stadium is done. And it's going to tie together both sides of the river. Should be a cool thing for Nashville. Maybe we'll see the 49ers play here before 2029, but I think they're next scheduled to hit the AFC South rotation on the road with Tennessee in 2029 after they played here in 2021. They can, however, play here earlier as part of the 17th game, right? The 9th road game every other year for a team. If the 49ers do hit Tennessee as part of that, maybe they'll get a chance to try out the new stadium when it is built. I'm not sure what year it's slated to open, but something to look forward to for 49ers fans who I know love to take over opposing stadiums. Anyway, let's head back up the hill here. 49ers, Brock Purdy's in Iowa. He's driving his tractor in Iowa. He's on his fiance's family's farm out in Iowa. Doing some good stuff there, some R&R for Brock Purdy over the course of this bye. The 49ers are going to be back at practice on Monday. Now, Nick Bosa did not leave the facility over the course of this week. John Bosa's dad came on KMBR and said that Nick is hanging out at the facility with newcomer Chase Young. They're learning the playbook together. They're talking to Chris Kasarik, who I guess is still around here over the bye week, and getting some quality work done. So, I mean, that's going to be so fascinating because we know that Nick and Chase are familiar with each other from their days back at Ohio State. Bookending edge rushers, we can call it the Buckeye bookend, we can call it the bookend. The key right now, and I think the reason they're really getting into the playbook, is to make sure that everybody is aligned when it comes to run defense for the 49ers. Nothing is more important than that for this football team. If you can't defend the run, everything else in this defense is going to fall apart. So Bosa, Chase Young, both back out at the facility, having a workful time here over the course of this week. Brock Purdy and company, everybody will be back after their bye week by Monday for the bonus practice. That's where we'll get our first look at Chase Young in that 49ers uniform on the field. And then the 49ers will have a player's day off Tuesday, followed by practice for Jacksonville on Wednesday. So I've got to fly back to the Bay Area from Nashville. Then I fly from the Bay Area to Jacksonville. And then it's a whole lot more travel from there. But when travel is this beautiful, and you got the Cumberland River, downtown Nashville, you could hear the partiers behind me on Broadway. When it's this beautiful, then you do it. That's the NFL travel circuit. We'll talk to everybody soon.